Hey, Billy from the Gooncast here. This week we're on comedian pal Chris Keise. In this video, we'll talk about former Giants running back Tiki Barber. If you like what you see, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and stay tuned for more videos just like this. Who is it? I heard you got a big Tiki Barber topic you want to get on.
Oh my God, man. Sometimes the things kind of occur to you well after the fact. Tiki Barber just crossed my mind the other day. And they recently put out the finalists for the upcoming Hall of Fame for 2021. I followed the Giants for like a really, really long time, still
A
do.
Giants fan? Yeah.
You see, fan is not really a word that it's not really a word that you kind of really apply to me because I'm an old sports guy. And I played football for semi-pro in minor league, that is, for like over a decade. And obviously I followed the NFL. With me, it's sort of like I just watch the games now. The politics in pro sports stands out to me more than it does most sports fans. The pro leagues always seem a little bit bought and sold to me. So rather than root, I just kind of like watch. But anyway, with Barber, we all remember how his career ended, him bailing on the Giants, and then the following year,
You're too early, man.
Right, and everybody was kind of like in your face, Tiki Barber, and all of this blah blah blah. And I think what gets lost in all of that is like, he was the best back in Giant history, pretty much. And that completely gets overshadowed. Do we just completely throw out the window that he was the best running back of one of the most storied franchises in the NFL? Like,
you should. I think.
Good point. I mean, it's tough because his career did end early. He did dip out, so his stat totals, I guess, are kind of low. Doesn't have a Super Bowl. I get why he's on the fence, but I see what you're saying. He was a hell of a player.
Yeah, I mean, and everything that I talked about, everything that that I put in that post on Facebook, I mean, is accurate. I mean, he broke 10,000 yards for a career when his first 4 seasons, the Giants did everything but start him. They put a handful of running backs in front of him. Tyrone Wheatley, they were waiting for him to work out. That didn't work out. Then they brought in Gary Brown, a veteran power back, and he had one good year, then injuries. Okay, then they would throw in Charles Wade, who's a fullback. And they would have him starting at halfback sometimes. If not him, some guy Joe Montgomery. Right, and then they bring in Ron Dane, and who was only one of the great running back busts, as far as draft picks are concerned. I always felt sorry for Ron Dane, but all of that had to happen before Barber got starts. And it was then that, he was one of the most, explosive running backs, not just, for the Giants, but in the league.
Yeah, he caught the ball, too. He has 5,000 receiving yards.
Yeah, almost 600 catches. So he was a dual threat. He was a dual threat back, blah, blah. I'm not saying that I'm, the president of the Tiki Barber fan club. I know I probably sound like that right now.
I had his jersey as a kid. I was a big Tiki Barber guy.
Look, and it's not lost on me that he's at least a part-time dickhead. It's not
yeah,
lost.
that's the thing. He's kind of a dickhead the way he left, and then he had that weird pregnant thing. He cheated on his pregnant wife, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a controversial post-playing career for sure. Definitely doesn't help him.
Yeah, well, you know what though? Look, ain't nobody paying him to be a nice guy.
You know, that's a good point.
That's true.
It doesn't affect his career. The field. Yeah.
A
lot of people have been way worse playing.
Look, people really pay too much attention to the personalities of some of these pro stars.
Some of them, that's all they pay attention to.
I know that it makes for great press. But we're talking about guys that should be in the Hall of Fame, but they should at least be considered a little bit closer. I remember when T.O. was basically being T.O., and everything, all of the sound bites that you get off of him would overshadow the fact that he was perennially one of the best.
T.O. was so fake. He was such a big deal, and for being controversial.
He'd be in his driveway working out, and there'd be 50 cameras there.
I remember that?
That was see insane. What he was doing next. Remember that era? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it was Terrell Owens known for saying his share of dick moves? Of course. But at the end of the day, I don't like the idea of sports, being treated like some sort of popularity contest.
It's definitely about politics.
So it should be
the politics you see, though. that you were talking about before that kind of ruins the game for you a little bit. Now I'm starting to see him.
Yeah.
For real.
He's right there, though. I mean, 10,000 yards. He's right there with Ricky Waters and Jamal Lewis, LaShawn McCoy. O.J. Simpson's about 1,000 yards ahead of him.
Shout out OJ.
Yeah, but for all of that, like, I mean, do you? I mean, if we're doing all of that, do we kick OJ out of the hall for allegedly?
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, that's true. Who's
Good
a
point.
bigger dick than O.J.? Maybe he hasn't been convicted of murder, but it wasn't very nice.
Was
Yeah,
he
I
always a
felt-
good guy until that? I don't know.
Well, he was
Was he?
known as a
He was
very
like a
nice
celeb.
guy,
He was
yeah.
he was like a known dude.
That was his thing.
Yeah,
He
but
Big in
yeah,
college.
smiled all the time.
The Wizard.